Yo, yo, peace and one love and grand evening, grand morning, wherever you at in this beautiful world, man. Give thanks for tuning in and welcome to RockTrue Beatz. I'm your host, Marley King, also known as Chris Lyon. And I thank you for joining us, man, as we rock truth to absolutely nothing at all. RockTrue Beatz is a cross-cultural response to the lack of choice in music today. RockTrue Beatz is designed to provide a sound message from theory to lab to life, while encouraging the necessity to return back to origin by way of relative keys, his kingdom principles. Overstood? RockTrue Beatz seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established, local and international kings and queens, musical artists of character, while promoting kingdom consciousness, awareness of who we are and to whom we belong. Yo, yo, what it do, man? Y'all see where I'm at, man? This feels so much better to be back out here. You
Hey, King.
understand? Peace, Selena. It's good to see you.
Good to
Man,
see
oh
you
man, oh
too.
man. Been a long time coming, you know. I've been cooped up in the house and been putting
Yeah,
in work all over the place, but it's always a blessing when I get back to the roots, man. Get back out here, Mother Nature, and we got a
absolutely.
little rain, got a little rain on our hands today, but hey, nothing wrong with a little April showers.
No,
Even though we're
sir.
not quite to April, but some March showers, man, shall bring them May flowers, as the old
Yes,
saying
sir.
go.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. No, it's definitely, significant to see that there is seasonal change. And oh, Grand Day Queen, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. Even if it's just
Peace, peace.
thank you. But yeah, no, listen, when I tell you, God had to say, He said, I'm gonna tell you one more time. It is seasonal change. The seasons have changed. And I need you to get in tune with that. I need you to agree with the fact that the seasons have changed. And even though it has changed and it's the 21st is, coming, it's gone. But like we talked about before, the process of summer is still in process. There is no stop, and it's like, oh, spring, and everything just stops. No, it's now a process to get us into summer. And I definitely overstand that if never before.
Look at the word sound power right there. You know, if anybody ever overstood, it's you, Mary.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it, man. Now, I want to say a couple of things too, man. I know we just passed up a very significant day in our beautiful world on this beautiful planet, and that was the spring equinox that recently fell on March 20th, which was
Yeah.
Sunday. You know, a very grand day. And just let me give a quick rundown for people who are maybe don't understand the word equinox or maybe confuse equinox with solstice, because we do have two of each, and they coincide with each parts of the season. When it comes to the springtime and the fall time, we have our equinoxes, meaning that we have the time of year where the amount of daylight equals the amount of darkness. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So
Uh-huh.
when we look at it, sorry, I always got to read what the what,
Now
what the
you don't
good
have to.
good
You
sister
keep
chiming in
going.
with,
You
man.
keep going. You
All
keep
right, all right,
going.
all right. All right. But anyways, like we should understand, man. Equinox, the word itself means equal day or equal night. You know what I'm saying? The word actually translates to ekis and nox, which translates to equal nights. But we understand it as the time of equal daylight, equal nighttime. Even though science says that it's not true because it's off by so many seconds or milliseconds, but nonetheless, nonetheless, we always acknowledge it because it's been acknowledged from ancient cultures all across the world, and I think it's
Yeah.
something that we should always revere in our life today. But nonetheless, when we arrive at the spring or fall equinoxes, we have to look at it in a worldly perspective and at a latitudinal and longitudinal perspective as well. Because when we're tracking the sun, we have us here in the northern hemisphere. We have what we call the Tropic of Cancer, and that lies at 23 and a half degrees north, which
Right.
is 23 and a half degrees north of the equator. Okay. And when we look at south of the equator, we have the Tropic of Capricorn, which lies at 23 and a half degrees south of the equator. And what are those? What are the significance of those two pieces of latitudes? Excuse me. Yeah, latitudes.
Yes.
Those happen to be the places where the sun reaches its fullest peak, its highest peak that it's traveling furthest from the equator, and the southernmost peak, the where it's traveling the furthest the south of the equator. Those are the solstices, which happen in summer and wintertime. Okay, we're dealing with the equinox right now. And what the equinox is when that sun is traveling back from those. Right now, the sun has been traveling north of the Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degrees south of the equator. So as it travels north and it reaches the equator, we fall on the equinox, which was on March 20th. That's when the sun was precisely at the equator, getting ready to make that transition. We're talking about transitions and how things never stop. These equinoctial and solstice transitions, they never stop, or excuse me, it's never a stopping cycle. It's always just a transition. It's a never ending cycle, just like you speak. So we have to look at it like that. We never stop because the seasons stop. Some of us may hibernate a little more than others, but it's all divine, man. It's all a divine programming. You know what I'm saying? And it's very important to acknowledge, because when we go to acknowledge these equinoxes or these solstices, they fall in line with the planting cycle, how we're going to plant up our foods, or as they did in the old world, everybody, planted up their own foods. Nowadays, we're kind of more reclusive when it comes to that, and we're more reliant on other systems for us to create these for us. So I think it's important that all of us recognize what the equinoxes are, get back in tune with the ancients of things, and to understand that, it's a very significant day. And if you haven't already started your seeds for this upcoming year, it's time to start the seeds, man, and get them planted. Sow your seeds, man, so we can reap what we sow. You understand?
Yes, sir. Like, you hit on so many levels. No, you're like not even like you're hitting on so many things that are, not just about the plants and, the way in which the system, or the system in which God has going on, his flow, you know what I'm saying? The energy. And, just personally now dealing with, it's not a loss because it's heaven's gain. I just want to, highlight real quick, my brother, Kelvin Rye, we actually, partnered with the restaurant with him recently, or in the last season. And so when you're talking about, seasonal change, and just because a season changed, that doesn't mean things stop. They continue on. They keep going. And what God has planted, he desired to see an increase in what it is that he has planted, and he's looking for that harvest. So this is a plant. This was a plant that was planted in society for all of us to benefit and reap the harvest of.
Yes, man.
And just because he's not here in body doesn't mean that God ain't with us in spirit and things are to cease. They are to stop. No, they have to go on, if not even more, just because, again, the change in the season. So it's kind of like, just because, it's spring, that means we're going to get rid of all of our winter clothing. No, that doesn't mean you do that. Or just because winter is going to come, we know it's going to come, that means, we put away everything from the summer. No, you continue on, you keep and you hold on to the things that you're going to need for the next season, that you can take from season to the next season. But you have to learn to let go and understand that God has a purpose. So what he did in the last season, he's always doing something new. And that's now, not tomorrow, right here, right now. So take full advantage of it. Take full harvest of it. This is like you said, this is the season to plant. Time to plant. Let's plant, but let's keep going, because God is always on a consistent, just like truth, just like his word. You're talking like some
I love it.
Necessary for those who are possibly grieving right now. You know what I'm saying? And understanding God is on a constant, he's on a current, and you got to get on board and agree. You know what I'm saying? It just helps. Queen says, come on now. The word says that everything is a time and a season, and a time to reap and a time to plant. You are Queen teach. It's simple. Everything, but everything is also timely. And everything is also in his timing. People say, like, he died young, he passed away young. No, he passed away timely, because everything is for God's purpose. He rearranges the parts for his namesake solely, not us. And so if you're just watching the seasonal change, and you watching how everything, like you're saying, getting back to nature, it's a connection back to him. It's a connection to life. It's a connection to understanding the way in which the world should be turning. So I want to get with you. I want to get into this video with you that you desire to play, because you're going to do an experiment today, right?
Yes, we have a deep experiment on our hands today, man. And I'm glad you catch me, because I'll be ready to go on so many other rants when you say a few things and say a couple of good
Yes,
words like so, man. I'll be ready
yes.
to just follow up with you, man. But let's keep
No,
on
no,
proceeding,
you
man.
follow. You follow. You follow if you want to follow. Go ahead and follow. No, please,
All right,
because
I
it's
got
necessary.
you.
It's go.
I'll say my last piece here, and then we'll
Yes,
jump into this wonderful video in relation to our experiment that we're going to be conducting today, and I think it's
yes.
going to be a very powerful one for everybody. But nonetheless, we was talking about the passings of people, and the seeds that God planted all around us, which can be a person, it can be an idea, it can be a thought,
Teach me. Teach.
it could be a
Yes,
plant, it could be medicine, it could be
yes.
food, any of these seeds that have been planted. But I think it's important to acknowledge that um, you know we shouldn't let ourselves to get caught up in so much of the grieving. There's a time and a place for everybody to grieve, and I think it's important for everybody to grieve. It's
Yes.
important to get that out. But at the same time, once we finish our grieving, and don't let it last forever, make
Teach
sure
us.
that we
Teach.
that we celebrate life, man, because
Yes.
any any seed that was planted here on this earth, man, especially in a human form, they've came for a divine purpose. And I
Teach me.
think that's the thing that everybody searches for in life, is to what their purpose is. What was the why were they put on this particular planet? What was God's purpose of doing all of that? And
Yes.
I feel like it's important for us to acknowledge it, because everybody here has a purpose. Once again, man,
Teach, brother.
nobody,
Teach me. Teach.
nobody's purpose may be the same.
Yep.
The things that I've discovered that I'm here to do during this lifetime, before I move on to make my transition, it's
Yeah.
going to be different than what you're doing, because we each
Teach.
have unique. Each seed is unique, man. Every seed I plant into the ground is not the same, man. And we're going to understand
Teach.
that with this experiment that we get into. It's going to be very deep how we can tell the different frequencies coming from each individual plant. Whether or not it's the same plant or it's a different species of plant. It
Oh,
becomes so deep, and I think this correlates well with the understanding of RockTrue Beatz, and the purpose that we bring about. Is to understand music on an even deeper level, because it's not
yeah.
just what we hear, it's not just what we see. It goes deeper into the other senses, man. It goes right into that sixth
Teach,
sense, man.
brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I
Let's
do. I really do.
let's get into this video, man. Let's get
Let's
into
do
this
it. Let's
video.
do
I'm
it.
getting
Let's do it. Okay.
hyped.
So let's do it. Because I thought it was pretty dope. And even just listening to it, like it's just again, just something that again connects you with life. One thing that I do love to hear, like listen to like the sounds of nature. You know what I'm saying, before bed or something like that. So this video definitely correlates with peace, man. It just correlates with peace for me. So let's get into it. Let's play it. So dope. So dope. So dope. You
It's
muted.
very deep, and yeah, gotcha now. It's very deep, and what I want to say too, man, is for those maybe who couldn't pick up on the video or the audio so well, what's going on here is we are hooking up little tiny electrodes, or think of when you go in for an EEG at the hospital when they hook up all these different sticky adhesive pads to your
Yeah.
body or your chest to measure your heart or to measure your brain activity. This is what we're doing to plants by hooking these particular electrodes up to them, and
So cool.
each plant, inside of each plant, on the leaves or on the foliage or the flower of it, there's little tiny pores. Like if we look at our skin and we see all of our pores where our sweat comes out, or we look at, the skin is the biggest organ on the body, and same for the plant as well. And through this plant, there's a constant flow of energy or frequency, just as there is with our bodies as well. Because we're electromagnetic beings, just like everything else in this world is. Everything else living has a type of frequency added to them. So when we hook up these particular electrodes to the plant, we're able to pick up on the consciousness of the plant, or the sound of the plant, rather.
Love it.
So
Love it.
as the plant breathes, or the plant fluctuates, or the plant's consciousness is going and it's kind of going with the flow of nature, or maybe a butterfly lands on it, or a dragonfly comes in, or a squirrel comes rustling through the leaves or the tree or the plant, there will be changes in frequency, because this is the way of the plant reacting. So let me lay something down real quick too, for somebody who hasn't ever heard of what they call the Baxter effect. The Baxter effect was an experiment conducted back in the 1970s, I believe it was. I forget the guy's name, but anybody could search this up. It's called the Baxter effect.
Okay.
Baxter, Baxter. And this is what this experiment shows is the consciousness of plants. And the way that he did this was by hooking up, once again, back then they used the lie detector test, which uses similar those adhesive pads, electrodes rather. It uses a similar piece like that, but they hook it up to the person, and they hook it up to the plant as well, so that they can get double readings from them. And the guy who was conducting the experiment, he would come up to the experimentee, and he'd say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to cut you with this knife." So he picks up the scalpel, and he comes closer and closer to his finger and gets ready to cut her, man. And the reaction from the plant is, if you ever seen a lie detector test, when somebody fails it, or like when they start sweating and stuff, because that's what that picks up on, is like their heart rate and how much they're sweating. And usually people, when they're nervous or they're freaking out and stuff like that, their body reacts, even if they're not, emotionally or facially reacting to it. So you'll start to see the waves spike. Like think of when an earthquake comes in, and the earthquake measure or instrument measures it with all those lines on there, coming up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Usually it's normal. When you just hook it up to the plant, it's just pretty normal. It's like a nice sine wave, very beautiful, especially with the sounds that we're going to hear momentarily.
Right.
But as you start to interact with the plant, it starts to really change up significantly, and everybody's going to see here momentarily when we get down to this experiment. But I just found it interesting. We are actually able to individually go out there and become more in tune with nature if people are maybe like first time just getting themselves back, getting their feet grounded again. You know what I'm saying? This is a beautiful way to really bring about that meditation, that real connection or sense of connectivity with the source, man. Jah Almighty, you understand? And this becomes something so profound on the mental, man. One other interesting piece about this particular device that I got called the Plant Wave is you could take this and you could put it onto your body, and you can measure. You could listen to the sound of your own body, man.
Oh, no way.
And I think
want to do it.
Man, listen, man. All right. We'll have to set up a time and place, man, up at Marquette Park. We're going to have to get down. It becomes so deep. One thing, I did this with my uncle a couple of weeks ago. I went and sat at his house, and he never tried this thing before, never even seen it, and I blew him away with this. But he took the electrodes and we hooked it up to his hands, to his palms, and he closed his eyes, and he was able to just by thinking or relaxing the body, things of that nature, change the different frequencies in the music and such, man. It was very interesting, man. It was very mind blowing for myself to witness it because I've seen videos and stuff, and I never really thought to try it on myself because I was so interested in the plants. But it
Yeah.
was very interesting how he was able to do that, and just by observing him. And he was telling me afterwards, he was like, you heard when the note shifted like this. That's when I was focusing on being really relaxed. So you could really play with it by different thoughts and different ways of maneuvering the body and the glands in a sense. I just think it's very, very
That
interesting.
sounds
Very
super
for
dope.
everybody else who's listening.
I think that like, listening to the sound of just, the I guess it was connected to the waterfall or just a plant, or what was it connected to?
So it was connected to the plant. The waterfall would just happen to be in the background. So
Got you,
you
got
could really make music out of this. And the reason I say that is because
you.
what is inside of this device, and I'm going to be able to show you on this particular application that I'm using.
Okay.
You're able to change the different kind of synthesizers. Like synthesizer, for example, is maybe you're listening to some music and you hear like a really distorted keyboard or a different sound that's not a natural instrument. You know what I'm saying? It's a synthesized sound, a synthesizer. It's a sound that was created through by mashing different frequencies at different levels.
Gotcha.
So what's going on in this device? They have a handful of. So they got an app for the iPhone too. I happen to have an Android, and they only have so many selections and so many features on this particular app. But on the iPhone, they have even more features. You know what I'm saying? So you can really dive even deeper when it comes to that, and you can broadcast it live. Like you can go on YouTube or go onto a particular streaming platform, and you can broadcast the music coming from the plants live. Something that I also see interesting as well is that you can hook these devices up to multiple plants and create a symphony in a sense, But these plants are very, very intelligent when it comes down to being able to project their frequency out into these different MIDI synthesizers. It's just something that is very divine, and let's start to get into it here.
It was divine. Go ahead. I want you to keep, but it was divine. It was divine to listen to. I'm like, if that, like, it now takes me back when God was saying, if I don't have nobody to worship, for me, I get a rock to worship for me. You know what I'm saying? But now it really brings that idea home, because you can hook it up and you can hear the frequency and sound that's coming from it, and it's probably harmonious because it's not, it's not being like you said, like tampered with by the world or the environment. But then just thinking about rocks that could be possibly out of their natural elements, I would love to hear what that sound would sound like. You know what I'm saying? Because there are certain things that are in certain places, in certain environments that are supposed to be conducive to their growth and their development. So if they're taking and putting outside of their natural habitat, in a sense, or like concrete roses, like you got a rose growing up in an environment, which I would love to hear the sound of that particular rose in an unnatural environment versus in their natural environment or habitat. And so that goes back to, I'm like a nerd. Okay, I'm a nerd. And so that goes back to like even me, like I just want to know, what my natural state of being would sound like and what sound it would give off, to God. You know what I'm saying? And then I am disturbed by society, or I allow a disturbance to come into my body or into my temple. What sound or what frequency am I on? So this is major.
It truly is. I love how you brought up the point about being able to run these experiments on plants in different out of their normal environments.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised by the difference in frequencies by a lot of these different plants when they're found growing in these other areas. And you can also hook these up to, maybe we see like a sick plant, a plant that's yellowing, or a plant that's not getting enough nutrients. And the sound is so much different compared to a healthy plant or a plant that's blossoming and blooming. Even at different stages in the plant's life, when the plant is flowering or when it's going to seed in the fall time, the sound alters dramatically. And I think that's that, as time goes on, we should all create experiments for ourselves like that when our bodies are out of line. And then eventually over time, maybe we could pick up on the changes in frequency or the changes in sound, and therefore we'll be able to apply ourselves, in a medicinal manner or a helpful manner, to rid our body from the wickedness,
No, seriously, because I watched a video just recently about, eating meat, and it was talking about how, it's a transfer of energy. Energy doesn't die, it transfers. And so
Sure.
even when you get in a wrong environment and people have negative energies and they're transferring
Yes.
this energy and stuff. And so again, it just goes back to, what have you invited in? And then how your frequency is now changed. And now from a RockTrue Beat perspective, what does that sound like in you? And then what is the sound that you're giving off? Because it goes from giving off something that is sound or cohesive to now being noise and pollution. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yes, man. You can eat. It's so funny you said this, man, because we're hooking this up to life forms, man. When I hook this up to an inanimate object, like if I hook it up to the lawnmower, look, the lawnmower right there. If I hook it up to that thing right there, you're not gonna pick nothing up. If I hook it up to the dead leaf right here, it's not gonna pick it up. There's no life existing in it, man. But when I hook this up to a tree, or if I hook this up to a dog's paw, the pad on the dog's paw, if I hook it up to that, or if somebody did an experiment where they hooked it up to his rear end, man, you know what I'm saying? And it still put off a bodily frequency. So I find it very interesting, because we're going to conduct, as part of the experiment today, we're going to be able to conduct that, to really have the control and the variable, the control being, all the dead leaves out here, because we're in the springtime going into summer right now. So we'll hook it up to the dead leaves to show that there is no frequency being emanated from this lifeless form. And then we'll take it off and we'll hook it up to something with more life, and that'll be our variable to show that, hey, this is what's occurring. There's a frequency being emanated from this particular plant because of the life force that's coming through it. And we'll hook it to our bodies as well, man. And we're gonna go all about with the experiments. I'm looking around right now, and we're in the very early parts of the springtime right now. And if I walk further back into the woods, like I'm gonna turn my camera around right now so everybody can see. Okay.
What you think, King? I'll take you to
first. Work to this. Man.
Okay. This is so dope. It's like field trip day. It's like lab day on your
Love it.
Like, there we go.
Okay. Can we see? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right, so we up in the backyard right now. But like I was saying, man, if we was able to get down into the woods right here, but unfortunately, because I don't have a portable Wi-Fi route, I get down into the woods. But there's much more growing down there. I'm usually down here quite often. I've planted some seeds back here as well. I usually harvest, the black cap raspberries back here. Goldenrod grows back here quite often. And quite a bit of other medicinals. I usually find a lot of great mushrooms back here, like chicken of the woods. And I've seen some turkey tails and some pheasant back, and a couple other different ones as well, man. And it's just a beautiful piece of work. But nonetheless, we out here in the backyard right now. And anybody could go out into the backyard and they could ruffle around in the leaves and see particular things that are starting to pop up, or you can see new life coming back from different perennials. What do we got over here? We got some nice echinaceas. Y'all can't tell what it is, but I could tell what these are back here, just because I'm a plant nerd when it comes to the thing, man. You know what I'm saying? But this leaf right here happens to be echinacea, or what they call coneflower, and this is a nice medicinal for respiratory system, man. Really kick the wicked out the lungs and out of the chest. So it's a very nice piece of work right there. But you can see she's starting to come back already. A lot of these plants, they're well preserved because of all of the leaves and other foliage that is falling over the top of these particular plants. And I think that's pretty interesting as well, because even in the wintertime, if you're ever looking for medicine, or if you're looking for some wild edibles and stuff like that, if you're in a survival situation, you know where to look. You just brush back the leaves and you'll be surprised by what's growing underneath. We also have some, I believe these are lilies right here. These are little lilies right here growing up. There we go. Yeah, these are little lilies coming back up. I think they are no, these aren't tiger lilies. I forget the kind of lilies they are. But nonetheless, that's what's growing right there. And we're going to start hooking some things up momentarily, but I'm just giving you a quick overview of what we are getting ready to encounter. I believe we have some dandelion right here. I think this is nice. This is dandelion Taraxacum canadensis right here. So this is one of the two species that we have here in Northwest Indiana that I've discovered is Taraxacum canadensis. That is just your Canadian dandelion.
I like how
it's a pretty neat one right there. Yo, you sound like everybody else. Everybody's like, can you say that word again? What was that word?
Say it louder.
Taraxacum
Say it.
Yeah, man. Taraxacum canadensis. Taraxacum canadensis, man. You got to put a little spice on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Right here. Let me see what I got right here, man. I'm gonna see if this has any scent to it. This is how I like to check out some of these plants, man, by rubbing my fingers on them and taking a scent. But I don't smell any scent right here. But we could tell that these are growing in the pattern called a basil rosette. Basil, like the culinary basil that we eat. Rosette, like a rose pattern. And you can see, maybe let me try to pull up a better one here. You could kind of see it grows from the middle and puts out another petal in almost a Fibonacci sequence or a spiral, that spiral pattern. And you may see that in a lot of different flowers, especially the cone flower or sunflower. When you look at it, it has that unique spiral shape to it. And purple dead nettle, that's a good feminine herb right there. That's a really early springtime edible that you can use. It's good fodder for people who's raising cattle. You use it as a nice fodder or feed for them. Here's some more dead nettle right here, but it puts up these wonderful purple flowers. They got like a bud like basil does. And where are you from? I hear the accent. Hey, I get it all the time, man. I'm a mixture of culture, man. But my family comes from Guanajuato, Mexico. On my father's side, from Guanajuato, Mexico, and my mother's side comes from Budapest, Hungary. So I got a nice unique mix in there, and I probably got some splashes of some other. Yeah, I got some other splashes of some things in me. Just from the conquistadors coming over and conquering my peoples and stuff like that. So I'm bound to have a little mix in me. But I got a lot of island brethren, man, who really put me onto my Rastafari way of life, man. And give thanks to them. But you could tell a Rasta man by the way that he talks, the words that he uses, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's overstood. Words sound power. You know what I'm saying? You see, we say things like overstand and yeah, man, it becomes something very deep, very deep. And yeah, give thanks. And to me, Trident Rastafari, man, is a very, very conscious thing, man. And we live by a lot of liberty in this life, man. And it's our duty to spread that liberty, man, to promote the consciousness of the people, the overstanding of culture. Because just like Marcus Garvey said, man, what's a people without knowledge of their origin or their history? It becomes like a tree without roots, like a tree without roots, man. You overstand?
How is it even possible? How's it even
possible? Man. Oh, you overstand. It becomes something so divine, man. I love it, man. But you know what? Let's start conducting experiments here, man. I got the itch, man. I got the itch right now. Okay. So let me show you what I'm working with right here. Right here is what we call the plant wave. And this little device right here, believe it or not, is what packs that total punch, man, and projects all the sounds out for you. The synthesizers inside of here. It's got a little on button on the side here, and I got mine already turned on, but we switch that on. You see we got our connection right here, just your usual auxiliary port. And then we have our two, they call them nodes. And these things are just like little clips. You see what I'm saying? They open up, close them, and these things are what's going to pick up on the frequency or the conductivity of the plant, rather. Now we also have those pads, those electrodes, but we're not going to probably be able to use those today because it's a little bit wet out here, and it's also yeah, just because it's a little bit wet out here and we don't have too much foliage on the plants to deal with. But if we had like a big tree leaf, or if we had some mushrooms, we could hook those pads up to them. But these plants are a little bit more delicate right now, and I feel like it's important that we respect that, and we don't want to damage the plant. We don't want to hurt the plant, because if I were to hook these up to the plant and injure the plant, you would see the dramatic change in frequency. The plant would react to that, And I think a lot of this has to do with intention as well. We was talking about eating meat just a few minutes ago, and when we're talking about that, we think about consuming meat back in the day as opposed to consuming it now. And what is the difference in that? It's the difference in intentions. What were the intentions of people having to hunt and kill an animal? It became something something so deep. A lot of people shed tears when they killed their first deer, man, because some people don't want to kill the animal. I guess naturally we don't want to kill the animal, man. We're a loving creature automatically. But when you kill the animal, it has to be for a spiritual purpose. It has to have an intention. When I go out and harvest up my foods, I'm always saying, give thanks, man. Give thanks because this is gonna make a nice meal and nourish my body and fill me up with the nutrients and multitude of vitamins that my body needs to function properly and give me good health and life. When I harvest the medicine, same way. When I'm making the medicine, same way. Everything plays a role. Intentions are very important. Intentions are impeccable. We hold ourselves to the highest level of standards. And if you're in tune, you'll receive the message. And when I teach, I do it through unique methods. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness, man.
You're absolutely right in it. Like just now, I got sick recently from eating. For me, I'll say just taking in poison, taking in the wrong types of food for my body, and my body just totally.
Okay, sure.
And so with that, now I'm like seriously like studying, the food. And a lady had came in just unexpectedly. She had already, talked to me about not just what we're eating or what we're serving to people as far as the cafe, but how. So we were actually just looking at the how, like the method in which we were just serving the food, not so much of how in the sense of how does it end up on your table. And I was watching the thing on What the Health, and I'm looking at all of the ways in which, food is being processed to get to your table. And so when it comes to something or somebody having to be harmed in order for you to eat that, you got to start kind of rethinking some things. Because like you said, we are natural lovers. We love, we don't like, we're not killers. You know what I'm saying? We're lovers. So when we're loving things, it's difficult. Like you said, somebody will cry when they kill because that's not even in us to kill. And like you said, going back to how they were doing it then versus what's necessary now, these are two different things. And so, I mean, we just, you hit on some dope things. I definitely wanted to relate to that before you start your experiment. Queen said, yep, her husband can relate to what you were saying earlier in reference to Rastafari and everything else. He's from Jamaica, so she already know. But I'm ready to see this experiment.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yo, so we're gonna get into this experiment right now, and there's some different settings on this particular application I have on my phone to, like I said, bring about different. Ooh, the rain's starting to pick up too, man. So perfect timing. So it has different type of synthesizers on there. So I'm going to plug up one synthesizer. It's called Baroque Begonia. So I'm not sure what that necessarily means or what that sounds like, but we shall find out, man.
I just like
all right. Hey, I like I said, tried to be cultural with it, man, and connect with the word sound power. You know what I mean. Okay, so nonetheless, you see, we're gonna take a node right here, man, and I got this thing plugged up and turned up. So here we go. Tell me if you could hear it when it starts to play. Okay.
Okay.
Matter of fact, look, I'm gonna hook it up to this leaf right here.
That one is the one that's dead, right?
Absolutely. Nothing, man.
Nope.
Hook up the next one, man. Let me see if it holds true. Yeah. Nothing. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and remove these. And let's go ahead and hook this up to something with a little more life, some more green in it. Make sure I'm plugged up. Make sure I'm turned up here.
Yeah, I just did the same.
Bear with me for a hot second, y'all.
No problem, King.
Working in a wet environment right now, yes?
It's okay. You said that though. It's expected. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in with us, Queen, and everybody else. I don't know who you are, but I know you're watching. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching us. I love this. I always love Field Trip Day. I always love the lab of theory, but I do love the theory because the theory is so much important for you to even test in the lab. So this is this is a dope view, King. Ooh, I can't wait. Like I'm very excited about it. And so, yep, get it all connected and set up. And we understand it's always trial and error and different things in science. That's what makes science science. And that's what makes, coming to the truth of something imperative. Like, research was done and there were a lot of, I don't want to even call them mistakes. There were a lot of times where people did it and failed and did it and failed and did it and failed in order to succeed. So this is just, all in accordance with truth as well. Look at that leaf. That is the dopest view, bro. That's the dopest view.
Give thanks, give thanks. Oh, come on, man. Let me work it, man.
Yes, sis. Thank you. Thank you, Queen. It is. It really is. It's like super informative. And then again, when you in tune with God, you in tune with nature, it all resonates. You know what I'm saying? When truth is truth, you can apply it in every aspect of government. It should be applied in math. It can be applied in science. It can be applied in aesthetics. It can be applied in, every area, and it reigns truth. And that's how you know that it is true. You know what I'm saying? And I love it because and it resonates with your body, with your soul, with your spirit, you know that it's truth. Because of course he written everything in our hearts, minds. So this is dope. Like this is dope. And that be consciously aware of even wanting to be connected back to source. Just like you said about, how can you have a tree with no roots? That's imperative. It is because it's an impossible task. The roots have to be there. Like, you can't do it with one without the other. The one can't come before it. So it's impossible, to even conceive an idea like that. But look how we conduct our lives from a backward perspective. And so we live a lifestyle like as if we can do without root. That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Overstood now.
Yes. I love this view. I can't wait to do the mushroom forge. Like that's
it's gonna be a nice one.
Yeah, come out with us if you're in Gary, Indiana. Or even if you're local, if you're just in Indiana and you want to meet us down, I think you said Bloomington or something, King.
It's gonna be down Brown County, Indiana, which is it's gonna be a state forest. Nashville, Indiana is where it's at.
Okay, yeah. If you are here, Queen, join us. You and your husband, join us. Let's get out here and let's get in tune with nature and just watch. I love mushrooms because again, that fungi. You talk about life. You're talking about life. And you can go on YouTube and watch the life of the fungi or something like that. It's very informative. It's very knowledgeable. Yes, Queen. Yes. So you guys are welcome to join us, please. We love to meet you in person. And just go out and rock out and have a good time just with each other, sharing the love and the energy with each other, and then with the environment. So that's super dope. And the energy that
I love it, man.
Back and forth. It's just a dope exchange. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Truly is now.
Yeah. Go ahead, King. Take your time. We got a little bit more time, so take your time.
AUX.
Yeah, just let me know when you're ready. I'm going to go ahead and go through these commercials real quick and just let
everybody know
what's going on around us. Don't forget, guys, if you are still in need of filing your taxes, hit up O'Neill Financial Services. I said to you guys in several different shows, he has helped me with my tax issues that I had that went back to 2007. Got everything straight, got all my money back, everything. Like, he is dope. He is the bomb. You need help with your taxes. You need help with getting your stuff straight in order. Hit up O'Neill Financial Services. Yes, he is located in Chicago, Illinois. However, he is not limited to Chicago, Illinois. So if you need help and you are out of state, hit up O'Neill Financial Services. I'm telling you, he will help get your stuff right. He took on the IRS straight, like, for me. And everything was taken care of. I thank him. I love this brother. And then let's see what else we got going on. Don't forget go to RockTrue2.com, RockTrue2, where you can get all of your Kingdom cultured apparel. Just let's see, this is one of them we did for last month for Black History Month, and then it was also inspired by our own Marley King. It's a kingdom thing that whosoever believeth. Saying straight up and down, it's for the whosoever, and I love it. Not to mention Kingdom Apparel, we got P413, which is by our own Jute. So hit her up. Go to P14.com, P13.com. I'm sorry, 413.com, and get your Kingdom Apparel as well. We also keep a collection in our store just in case you missed it or you didn't know the website. So then we also have with Rediscover Me, the Sass Pennython. It's about you being showing up and showing out, and raising awareness for resources and sexual assault survivors. They need a lot of different things, especially a lot of them, they go into hiding. So they need things that they can't normally get, until they get to a place of peace. So if you guys would like to help out, the information is definitely on here. You can Cash App, $ Rediscover Me, just to donate. If it's just anything, guys, if it's anything, donate to just help out, Don't forget the Bismack. Oh, and the Bismack dropped yesterday on every mark of the season it drops, but the Bismack has dropped officially. I am excited. I am the managing editor of the Bismack. So I edit articles in the Bismack, as well as I wrote 3 different articles in the Bismack. One on the upcoming artist who won Billboard this year. Another was on Mr. Think Smart, who does a lot for his community in Texas and a lot for our youth. And then I also wrote one on RockTrue Management, keeping that same energy when you're hiring folks. When you hire people that you want in your business, make sure when you hire them, you also value them by paying them the same thing you would make. Nobody's gift has been devalued by God. So why would you devalue somebody else's? You wouldn't want yours to be. So everybody should be making the same, from the CEO down to the janitor. Every part is imperative, from the engine all the way to the spark plug, to the color of the car, to the driver, to the logo, the everything is imperative for this car to go or to grow. And any one part that's not,
let's go, AUX,
or not in place, any one part would make the whole now insignificant and worth more sold off in parts. So get a copy of the magazine today so you can see how I broke it down. RockTrue Management are absolutely nothing at all. We got a few events coming up. I know the Women Empowerment Mother and Daughter Sip Paint and Brush that is coming up. I just saw it is sold out though, guys. It's sold out, but you can still send donations to support our queen. She does a lot of different events and she encourages a lot of different women in our area. So Women Empowerment of Northwest Indiana and Illinois, huge queen. Then you have the event coming up by Love to Life Boarding with a Twist LLC and Hidden Treasure. This is going to be April 2nd. This is going to be another grand event for women empowerment. Look at the array of different speakers. We are also one of her guests. We are an invited guest that she has us to come out and just, thanking us for just promoting her and pushing her in her business as well. So you guys want to come out and support, even if you can't be there, donate to this amazing cause of, again, you loving yourself again, putting that into where it needs to go properly first, so that you are able to give off to others. And then we have Unstuck Woman Self Retreat that's going to be coming up in May. This queen, again, not even in our area, and they're doing major things. So please, guys, if you guys are looking for some more women empowerment engagement,
let's go.
Ain't it? Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, Kay. But we waiting on you still to go. And
trying to troubleshoot right now, man.
No problem, my king. Keep going. We have an upcoming vendor event as well. If you guys would like to be a part of it, it is Mukes Networking LLC presents. She has an amazing showcase that she does every year, and she does a few different events. So if you guys want to be a part of it, she is still looking for vendors. It's going to be at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center in Maryville, the new facility. So that's super dope. Excuse me. So hit up Queen if you guys, Miss Linda, hit her up if you guys are looking to either be a part of it, want to be a vendor, or you just want to attend. Don't forget that event will be June 5th. Sunday, June 5th from 2 to 6 p.m. Rock Truth will be in the building. Most deaf. All right, let's see what else. Coming to America, a fashion show in May. This is super dope. I'm just learning about this, so this is pretty cool. And so this is also in Munster, Indiana. So if you guys want to come out, if you're in the Northwest Indiana area, again, here we go. Here's something for you to do. Let's see what else we got going on. Ooh, I just like the pictures. And then don't forget, guys, the homegoing celebration of our King, Kelvin Bride. The grand finale celebration will be, the viewing will be Friday, March 25th from 6 p.m. And then what they call a final bow for him will be Saturday, March 26, 2022 at 11 a.m. And both will be held at Zion Missionary Baptist Church in East Chicago. So if you guys would like to attend the homegoing services of Kelvin Bride, here's the information for you. He was a dope brother. He was a dope king. He was a dope friend. And he did what he was supposed to do while he was here. You talk about God planting and reaping a harvest from this brother. You could tell in that smile, every smile in all these pictures, you can tell he gave. That's super dope. That's super dope. All right, King. Let's see what we got. Oh,
I'm still here. I'm still here. Hang tight with me now.
Good.
I don't know why I'm having a technical difficulty, man.
It's okay.
Before I came on, I was able to get sound coming from the speaker and such, man. But I'm not able to get much right now.
It's okay. You know what? Let's table it for another day. We got next week. We got 2 weeks. Let's do it.
Oh, I know it.
And then guess what? Because that way, then we can be together, and then like you can plug it up to me, and then like we can just do it big. So like,
hey man, you talking something deep right now.
Yes, because oh my God, I want to see this. I want to show this because that's super dope. Like, I want to. And we thank you too, Queen. She's in North Carolina, so we thank you so.
Oh, enough respect.
Yeah, man, that's super dope. Thank you. So yeah, King, let's go ahead. Let's table it. Let's table it and do it next week when we're together, and maybe the weather will be permitted for us to do so, and all of that jazz. Because I definitely want to see it. This ain't. I'm excited about this.
Oh, I know. Likewise, man. I was so excited to bring this to y'all today, but it looks like we may have to postpone this for next time, man.
That's okay.
Until I can troubleshoot the audio here, man. I think what happened, maybe I got some water in one of my speakers or something like that, man, and that's why I'm running into issue right now, you know?
Yeah, and I totally get it, but you even said it. You said it, forecasting it. You were saying like we could run into issues, especially due to the weather. So I totally understand. What
a bummer.
It's okay. It's okay. Everything timely, King. Everything timely. So maybe it's going to be something amazing in 2 weeks the God wants to show for him.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing he's saying. Let's go.
Oh yes. Let me set this to the side and come back on camera here, man. Okay. Let me set this to the side.
Yep.
All right, man. All right. Well, when things don't go your way, man, we don't sit down and we don't pout about it, man. We get back up and we keep on rocking and rolling, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's it, King.
Where we at here? Can you see me? Yes, you can see me now. All right, I'm back.
Yes, I can see.
You know, I don't know what your schedule is for next Tuesday or so, but maybe we could run this episode next Tuesday, man, and we can really have the experiment go live next Tuesday. We'll check the weather and accordingly, and we'll really get down to business, man.
Yep, I'm with you. Let's do it. I'm wherever you want us to be. That's what we're doing.
That'll work for me. But in the meantime, people should always be aware of the plant consciousness around us. We're coming in the year where we're seeing a lot of we're seeing that transition, man. Everything coming from the brown into the green, man. Okay, we need to be able to recognize that as all these things are coming up from the soil, we need to recognize life, man. You know, because out of darkness comes light. Always, man. It always happens like that, you know. In the first stages of a seed's life, think about it too. In the first stages of a seed's life, it doesn't need any type of light. All the seed needs is darkness and water, you know. But as soon as that seed sprouts, you know, that seed that you sowed, as soon as it sprouts, man, it needs all the light it can get so it can shine and it can produce, man, and it can grow. I'm telling you, man, these are real world analogies. We can connect these natural metaphors to our own humanistic ways, man. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is able to be connected, and I think it's just so beautiful. Getting back to nature and really getting in tune with things. Because as a youth, I never really used to look at a tree how I look at a tree now. When I'm looking at this big tree out here, all these big trees over here, you know, it means so much more to me. I used to just climb on them and jump on them and break branches and, you know, pull the bugs off them and such. But there's so much more deeper. You know, I'm gonna turn the camera too so we can get a view on this. But when we look at the trees, man, we just see how reminiscent it is, or how am I trying to say it? How reflective it is, how mirroring it is of our own nervous system in our bodies, man. Jeez. And even when you go below ground and you go into the ground, the root structure is almost identically the same. If you were to take the nervous system, which is all the nerve endings in the body, and just pull it out of the body and lay it flat, then we would see a very similar fractal structure like this, man. Yeah. And it's so unique how we reflect nature in so many ways, man. If you look at, we was talking about the Fibonacci sequence, or that basal rosette that we seen on the purple dead nettle earlier. When we look at the top of a person's head, we'll see that spiral happen, because that's where all the hair is really emanating from in our heads, you know. All the hair that we have on our head. If you ever get a chance, man, have somebody take a picture of right on the top of your head, and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. But that's just such a reflection of Mother Nature as well, because you see that particular imprint. It's almost like a watermark. You know, you think about a watermark on online when you're using somebody's instrumentals, or using somebody's particular picture. It has a watermark installed in there, and it's very reflective of ourselves too, because that's like the stamp of us, or that's like the stamp of God in a sense. You know what I'm saying? if we want to look at it in perspective like that, because everything has that. Everything natural of nature has one of those spirals in there, man. And you can look at different points of the body. You can look at the body from a pictorial point of view. If I just took a picture of somebody, you could draw that same spiral emanating from different points of the body. It could emanate in all type of pictures. This has been used in a lot of artwork all throughout time. And it's just so important to be able to acknowledge the reflection of nature in ourselves, and it puts us that much more in tune with the Creator. It puts us in that much more in tune with the source. So such a beautiful thing, man. Like I said, the way I used to look at it, and compared to how I look at nature and everything around us now, everything is divine to me. You know, it's a deeper understanding, man. And it's just a beautiful thing, man. I wish everybody take the time to go out in nature, man, and soak up the vibes, man, especially during this time of year when the mosquitoes aren't too hectic. I know a lot of people get turned off. It's like eating a bad fruit for the first time, man. You'll never try that fruit again. You go outside one time when the mosquitoes are wicked, you might never come out the house again. You know what I'm saying? It becomes something heavy like that. You know, so we all should recognize that, man. And it's been a very eventful start of 2022 for myself, and I know it's probably been pretty eventful for everybody else. But in this particular time, man, where health is of utmost importance, I feel like it's even that much more important to get your spiritual and your mental health on point as well. You know, just don't take care of the physical, but take care of those other two as well, because when all three of those line up, you know, they talk about a holy trinity. You know, when we have certain three things line up, the mind, body, and the spirit, or the soul, as some people say as well, we really start to see that explosion of light, man, come right out of us. And it shoots through me all the time, man. I mean, people that's around me all the time, they always talk about, you know, the vibe that I put off, you know. And every dog has its day, you know. I'm not always so giddy and so happy all the time, man. You know, I got my own internal struggles as well as everybody else does. So I'm no perfect in the next man. No, don't get me confused. But I
Yes.
think it's important to realize, you know, having that alignment, you know, and in old esoteric teachings they call it, you know, the Kundalini. In Christianity they call it the Holy Trinity, and that's the lining up of these particular elements, like the mind, body, and the spirit, man. And when we can really align those things, it projects us to them higher heights, man, like a
Oh, it
rocket. You know,
does.
we go flying up there.
It's mastering singleness. It's being one whole and complete. It's rocking his character. And so he's one whole complete in mind, body, spirit, his mouth, his deed, his thoughts, all are one. They're the same. They are in agreement. They are in alignment. You know, I say to people all the time, you know, you can know God. Okay, so you know his existence. And then other people say, well, you got to know God for yourself. Okay, that's cool too. But you know God for yourself all day and still don't agree with him. And how can two people walk when they don't agree? It's that simple. So you got to be in agreement, in alignment, your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, everything. And like you saying, hey, your physical body, okay, you can focus on that all if you want to. But if you ain't focused on how your mind, what you believe over what you crave, if the mind ain't there first, your convictions over your appetite, if that's not there first, then it doesn't matter what you bring yourself, because eventually you're going to go in a different way anyway, because you didn't convict first. You didn't start there. So, you know,
Oh, it's overstood, man.
it's so imperative. Like what you saying is super dope. You know what I'm saying? Well, King,
Oh,
uh,
truthfully.
you want some final thoughts before we get out of here? Give us your final
You
thought.
know, you know what? I think I laid out my final thoughts, but just a quick reiteration, man. You know, I always try to get my final thoughts in, man, but it turns into like three different final thoughts. But that's all right, man. We'll just do a little reiteration, you know. And that's overstanding the God consciousness all around us, man. You know, it's not don't look at humans as just the superior objects in the world or superior beings in the world. Look at everything as divine, as they come from creation, man. You know, anything that is living, anything that is breathing, anything that could be measured through a particular frequency or sound, or that projects a sound or frequency, should be understood as of the creator, man. It's important that we all get back to nature and understand that there's a hidden world around us. Just because we can't see, everybody talks about, you know, science always talks about, we have to have physical proof. We have to see it. And if that's the case, let the physical proof be like these experiments that we are going to continue to conduct, man. Be able to hook different instruments up to particular plants, hook them up to different living organisms in order to be able to hear the frequency rather than just see, because not everything is seen in this world. Not everything is just heard. Some things are understood by smell, by taste, by touch. There's many different senses that the body has, and we have to be able to acknowledge all of that, because anything living is of creation, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's my final word, because I shall go on, and we may be here another hour with the rants and the reasonings, you know.
And we will be back in 2 weeks, most definitely. I definitely just, you know, concur, and when just piggybacking off of, you know, everything that is living, everything that is God, understand you can, you know, watch how you treat people. Watch how your, you know, the morality level that you display, because you could be entertaining God and not even know it. If anything, if you know, like I know, one thing I love about the Matrix is that it gives us the idea that we are in assimilation. And you know, people be like, do it for the vine. No, you actually doing it for the one true vine, actually, because he's the only one that's watching. He's the only one that you have to answer to. So when it's all said and done, you know, he has you in places and spaces with different people, different things, because he's trying to see what you're going to do, whether you're going to react or you're going to respond. And then he's trying to see, again, are you in agreement with him? Is everything aligning with you? And then when it's not, he just puts you back on that wheel and tweaks you up so you can get all that you up out of you. But most importantly, because the way you treat people is what you truly got to answer for. Not necessarily whether you drink and smoke and cuss and this. He died for that stuff. He did reestablish what's all, and that's love. And if you ain't loving people the way God love you, and if you ain't loving, you know, God the way he told you to love him, that means you ain't even self-caring. You're not even caring about yourself. But that is what you have to answer to him for. the morality level, how you treat your brother, whether you forgiving or not. You know, and don't forgive with a long handled spoon. He never told you to do that. He told you to do it just as fast, just as swiftly as you were forgiven. And it wasn't even when you did it. He had a restoration plan in place prior to you failing or falling. So you got to get in tune and allow him to get some room. And then when you are, you can hook yourself up to the electrodes and you can hear that peace and harmony. So that's my final thoughts, King. Rocking true beats are absolutely nothing from theory to lab to life.
You understand? I love it, Mary. And you know, it's a little bit past our time, but that's all right. Sometimes these little extra pieces of knowledge are just the kind of fat that people need for their heads.
Yes.
On a beautiful springtime evening, man. So
Yes.
you know, let's go ahead and wrap it up for the evening,
All
Mary.
right,
It's been
King.
wonderful. It's been wonderful hosting again, man. And you know, here in the next couple of weeks, you and I will link up here so that we can get back together and put together you know, something real nice and sound. You know, I'll get a nice speaker up and running, or if you have a speaker that I could hook an auxiliary cord up to, it'll be even better, because then we could project from my phone, or we'll figure some stuff out. We got a couple of weeks here, so
You do.
so we'll definitely be in touch and we'll take care of some things like that, man.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
until next time, man. Hey, man, this has been another wonderful episode of RockTrue Beatz. Catch us in 2 weeks.
Yes.
You overstand?
Yes.
Been a pleasure, man. Till next time, Marley King.
Selena K. Peace.
Peace.
You